Hello, my name is Elaine and I will be your instructor for this webinar. Today I'll be covering the steps needed to create a letter using the staff portal biographical mail merge. Mail merge has been moved into the staff portal starting with versions 4.3 or later. So I'm going to log into my staff portal, and the mail merge operation is found under the Manage menu. And you can see it here on the right-hand side. So there are three distinct steps as part of the mail merge. We have building the data source files, manage letter templates, and then print, send letters and labels. We're going to start with building the data source files. It is going to let MMS know which fields that we're pulling from the database that we want to include into our letter. So we're focusing this Tech Byte on our biographical mail merge. That happens to be the first template type, and so it's already selected, but if I were to click on the down arrow, I can see we have some attendance template types also. We're going to focus on the biographical mail merge. Now we're going to enter in the title. This is going to be the title for the data source file. It is going to be a CSV file, so it's a comma separated values. And as such, because it is going to become the name for that data source file, we have to follow standard conventions for naming that file. So this is going to be my parent portal, so I'm going to do, oh, look at that, parent portal letter. I've done this one before, no surprise. But if I wanted to add in a slash, say, or maybe a pound sign, this will let you do that, but because that is no longer a valid title or name for a file within practiced naming conventions, it's going to cause you problems. So I'm just going to keep it to my parent portal letter. Spaces aren't really encouraged, but they really shouldn't cause you any problems. So because we selected Bio Mail Merge, MMS does give us some default values here. I can see the student first name, and that is a combined field, so it's the first, middle, and last name. So you just see the stu name with the F, M, and L. We also have the contact name, which is a combined field. And the street number is a combined field. It has the street number as well as the street name. The contact city, state, and zip, that is also a combined field, so there's no need for you to try to remove those trailing spaces. This is done for you. So we have our AM bus number. I don't need that field, so I'm going to, I could leave it there. Just because it's there, it doesn't mean I need to use it, but I don't want to have to scroll through it. Grade level, I don't need. ID number we do want, and then there's a couple of fields that I want to include. To save time, I am going to recall my settings that I have previously. So on my settings, I have a parent portal letter already, so I'm going to recall those settings. Close this window. And here now for my letter, so this is a letter that I'm going to send to the parents, and it's going to include the information that they are going to need to create their parent portal account. So if I scroll down here, I have the contact's first name, their last name, and also their email, which were not part of the default settings. So once I have all of my fields selected, before I save my data source file, I want to point out that several fields here, my template type, my enter name, and my selected data fields, they all have a red asterisk following the title. That indicates that these are required fields. So if I were to, say, remove all of my selected data fields and then try to save my data source file, it's not going to allow me to do that because I have nothing here in my selected data fields. So let me get those back. Close, and so now I have everything that I need, and once I have everything all set up, I'm going to click on Save data source. Now, on my computer, when I download something from the internet, it automatically goes into my downloads folder. So however you have your computer configured for when you download things from the internet, that is the folder you're going to go to. I'm going to minimize my staff portal and go to my Word document. Microsoft Word already knows that this letter has already been set up as a mail merge. When you first create your Word document, it doesn't know that. It's just a Word document. So you can see I already have my merge fields in here just to save time. But when you have this initial Word document, this is a very old version of Word. Each version of Word is set up differently. So you will have to become familiar with your version of Word. In this version of Word, I need to first let Word know that this is a mail merge. So I need to let it know which type of mail merge it is. For this example, I used a normal Word document. So I'm going to click OK. And now I need to locate that data source file. So I'm going to click on Locate Data Source File for me, and I am going to go up and there we go. There's the CSV file that I just created. I'm going to click Open. Now it's very simple to create a mail merge, so I'm actually going to delete this right here. So wherever you want the mail merge field to go, you need to put your cursor there, so you can see my cursor blinking right after my deer. I'm going to click on the Insert Merge field, and the field that I want is Contact Name, and that's the Combine, and I'm going to click Insert. Then I'm going to close and then go to the next area. So you can see I have my letter all set. We do have a knowledge base article that will actually have this letter included for you. So if this is something that you would be interested in reproducing for yourselves. So I am going to save my document and close it. Very important that you close the document. It will not run properly if you leave the document open even after you upload it. It does need to be closed. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go back to my staff portal, and now I'm going to go to Manage Letter Templates. So rather than going to Manage and then Manage Letter Templates, we do have quick links right here. So whichever step you're in, the other two steps will be just a click away. So we're going to upload my letter. So we have to indicate what type of letter it is. So this is a biographical mail merge. And now I'm just going to use the Browse feature here, and I'm going to go down to my folder on my computer. So this is on my C drive, and that's the parent portal letter that I want. I'm going to click Open, and now I'm going to upload. If I accidentally selected the wrong letter, I can remove that and then browse and get to the correct letter. So I'm going to upload. Click OK. Now if somebody else uploads a letter and you need to modify that, you can select the template type and then select the letters. So here I have two versions of a parent portal instructional letter. I can select that and then download file, and I can see here that the Word document has downloaded and it's gone into the folder that I indicate that I want downloads to go to, which is my download folder. So uploading the letter is very simple to do. So now we're ready to print our letters. So I just used the quick link to get there. So the first thing we want to do is set our student range. Now for the sake of brevity, I am not going to do all 500 students, but I want a fairly good selection here. So I'm just using my shift click to select my student range. I'm going to click OK. So I have 13 students selected. Now I'm going to select the letter that I want. Now, just like with the build data source files, any field here that you see with the red asterisk is required. So I'm going to select my biographical mail merge. I'm going to select my parent portal letter. This is the one that I've been working on. Select date range does not apply to anything biographical. If I had selected one of the attendance reports or attendance letters, then I would need a date range, but for biographical information, that is not needed. Let's go back to set criteria. Depending on the type of letter, the template type, this set criteria will change. But for biographical, it allows us to filter on a specific field. So in this case, if I wanted to generate a letter for a specific year of graduation, I would select that, move over the year of graduation that I want to generate the letters for, and click OK. So with that set criteria, year of grads of 2017 and 2018 would have letters produced. Going to, well, we'll move that one over. I do not have a label created yet. That will be a separate Tech Byte. So I am going to leave my labels unselected. Select recipient and sending options. So we need to select a contact type. These bio mail merge letters are letters, so they're intended to send information home to the student contacts. So we need to select which contact type we are going to send this letter to. So I am set up for the maximum of 9 contacts. You can see I've changed the reference names for my first 4, and my others are just the generic contact 5 through contact 9. But then we also have our mailing flag. So this will enable me to, in one pass, be able to send letters to each student's contact that have been indicated that, yes, they want to receive mailings sent home. So we're going to select that one. We have the option of limiting 1 letter per family. Now, for this to work, you need to utilize the family ID code and associate those with your students. In the case of my parent portal letter, I am pulling in specific student information. That student information, even though I am limiting my letter to 1 per family, it's only going to contain the information for one of the 2 or more students that may be linked with a family code. And that's family code per school building. If I was in a full school database, then it would include all students. We have an email settings like our old mail merge back in MMS generation. So if I click on that, what this is going to do, it's going to send the report to email. And we have a couple of options here. We can only email those students and contacts that are eligible for email, so that yes, they have yes, please send email checked, and also that they have a valid email address entered in. We can do it for all selected students, send an email where applicable, and then otherwise we'll produce a paper copy for those other parents. And in addition to these 2 options, we can default to print a paper copy as well as email for recipients. So everybody would get a paper copy and not just those. So this would be the from email that it's coming from. So it would be the person who is logged into MMS. The subject, so you could enter in, parent portal setup letter, And the letter itself is actually going to be an attachment. So you may want to include something, please see attached letter. It will guide you through the steps and give you the information that you need to create your parent portal account. Enabling the email log file. If you do enable it, it will generate a log file as to the emails sent, and I do believe it includes the email addresses that went out. And then if you did generate emails, this would give you the, I don't have any logs created, but this is where you would view the logs. The next option is tracking information. So we can enter in a tracking number. So this allows you to be able to track which students have received a letter, and then you could also limit if they've already received the letter, then you're not going to send it out to them again. You need to keep track of the numbers and what you're using them for, but for each tracking number, you can now add a title, and that title can be up to 75 characters. So this one's going to be, I've already done a parent portal letter, but let me go PP letter, and we'll call this one December 2015 because I've already done November. Actually, we'd want to change that to, so here is track the letters being printed or emailed. You'll have a record. You'll be able to locate and pull out information for each time the letters are generated. You'll be able to actually see the letters. And then here you can limit the mailing letters to those not yet printed or emailed. View previously used titles. So if I go back to my tracking one letter and click on the view previously used titles. So this is one that I generated earlier today. And if I download and open, these are the letters that I generated earlier today. I can see the name of the parent, the student information. So this was for Amy Abatici. And then I can see another letter was created for Christine Abatici. So that's a really nice feature. We'll actually change that to 2 now. And then also before we actually generate, we can clear the previously tracked letters so that if you want to be able to resend a letter, you can do that. It'll clear it out. All right, so let's generate our letters. Remember, we have 13 students. We are limiting 1 per family, so we're not going to see 13 letters. And now we're going to hit generate. And here are the letters. So we actually have 13 students selected, but only 11 letters were printed. That's because Amy and Christine are siblings, and they are linked together with the family code. But you can see here, my name is actually set as Amy's mother. So I have a letter that is for Amy. Then if I look at the next one, I see Dawn Abatici, and that is also for Amy. So she has, because I selected that mailing flag, she has more than 1 letter produced. Now I'm going, oh my goodness, another one for Amy. So her other contact had selected as yes, wanting to receive mailings. And now I'm finally going on to my next student, but Christine Abatici isn't here because of the sibling, the family code. So if the letters look good and we want to use them, we're going to close and track. If we made a mistake and we notice that there's a typo and we don't want to track these letters, we're going to hit close. So you can back out. This time I am going to close and track. Now if I hit generate again, no records are found because those letters have been printed and tracked, and MMS is not going to generate them again for those. Now there is a slight quirkiness and we're not quite sure what's creating it, but if I were to go back into my Word document, if I discovered that I had an error, a typo, and I open up my parent portal letter, I'm going to get this, I'm going to say yes, and for whatever reason that Word document can't find the data source file. So if I do find data source file and I go back to there's my parent portal CSV, I click open and it still can't find it. There is a workaround. It's not you and it's not Word that's causing this. What you could do is click on options, remove the source header, and then go back and locate your data source file. There is an easier, more permanent fix. So I'm going to cancel out of this. I'm going to cancel out of here. No, I just want to get out. All right, so here is my CSV file, my comma separated values. I'm going to right-click, and I downloaded some freeware called Notepad++. If I open it up with Notepad++ and not change anything, but just go to File, Save As, and in my case it defaults to Save As Type ***. If I click on Save, yes, close out of this. Now if I open up my parent portal letter, I get this same message here saying that there's it's a mail merge. Click yes and I am all set. So Notepad++ is freeware, so it's free to download and it's a very easy fix, and then once you do it to the CSV file, you're all set. Development is aware of that issue, and actually if you looked at the download instructions for, I think it was 3.4.2, which we discovered this problem, it is in as a workaround. So if I were to make changes, it's very easy. I didn't have to download it. Let's say I want to go back to a nice yellow highlighting here. This is something actually more for you, that you would have to put the website for the parent portal. I'm going to save my changes. I'm going to close out of my Word document. Go back up here. I'm going to go to my Manage Letter Templates, and now I'm going to upload those changes. Browse, there's my parent portal letter. I'm going to open, upload. Remember that last step to upload. I've done that one before. And now I'm going to go back to my print letters. Set my student range. I'm going to set my range for a little bit higher than what I had before. Let's see, remember to hold down my Shift key this time. Okay. Start date we don't need to worry about. Labels I don't have. I'm going to use my mailing flag. One per family. Do the second tracking. Track. Yes. That's my title, and generate. And there's my letter, and you can see it's now yellow instead of red. Well, I hope you have found the information in this biographical mail merge Tech Byte helpful.